Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and I hope you had a great weekend. Today, we are going to talk about the impact of being in a toxic relationship or how a toxic relationship affects you. This is because the effects of being in a toxic relationship actually should never be underestimated because they have a potential to significantly alter your life even after you leave that relationship even long after you leave. So, and the more you stay in that kind of toxic relationship, the more profound the impacts are likely to be. And that's why it's always vital to leave those kind of situations the moment you realize that the relationship is toxic, not to wait for a longer period of time. And toxic relationships actually manifest through various ways, from controlling behaviors to emotional manipulation to physical abuse, or just various forms of abuse. And the effects of being in one is so detrimental to your mental and general well-being, and those effects will last long even after that relationship has ended. So the effects will not just end after you end the relationship. No, the relationship will leave scars which, if not addressed, will always have a huge effect on most of your life's circumstances or on most of your life's actions. And the other thing is the severity of that toxic relationship also determines how deep those scars are. It determines how hurt you are or how huge the impact it will have in your life. It's a relationship where, like, the more you stay, the more your identity is eroded, and you end up feeling like you don't even understand who you are anymore, or as what people say, feeling like a shell of what you were used to, or feeling like a shell of how you were in the past. So, understanding the effects of being in one does help to know the areas you need to focus on in your healing journey. So, I'm going to list for you and explain to you 4 areas in which a toxic relationship affects in your life, so that at least you can understand the areas you have to work on. The first one is loss of self-esteem. A toxic relationship actually will have the greatest impact in your self-esteem, and this is now on the lower side. It will typically, like, lower your self-esteem, or it will weaken your self-esteem. This is because it's a type of a relationship which is often marked by manipulation, control, and emotional abuse, which can leave you feeling uncertain about who you are at the core of your being, and you're also uncertain about your abilities. And the thing is, the longer you remain in that kind of toxic relationship, the more severe the harm to your self esteem can be. And as you know, self esteem is just this feeling of believing in yourself or trusting in yourself. So, a manipulative person will make you doubt yourself and your worth, because most of their actions and conversations just make you feel less of a human being. They do not, like, talk about things which uplift you. No, they talk about things which put you down, because the thing is, they don't want to see you above them. They just want to see you below them. And the more someone talks to you that way, someone you trust, you'll end up feeling that you're not good enough, or you don't even deserve love, or you don't even deserve to live. And this can lead to feelings of shame, self blame, guilt, which further weakens your self esteem. So everything is about your weakening your sense of self. That's the first thing. The second thing is, of course, difficulty trusting others. One other common thing actually about being in a toxic relationship is you'll end up developing thoughts like all men or women are never to be trusted. This is because you trusted someone, and then you trusted that someone. You shared your secrets, you shared your vulnerabilities, you shared your weakness to that person, but they ended up betraying you. So you just have this general perspective of, like, you can never trust no one again, because you attach trusting with betrayal. You just know that the moment you trust someone, they'll betray you. And the other thing is, because they've also gaslighted you, manipulated you, your reality is also distorted. So when your reality is distorted, you find it really hard to trust your judgments, intuitions, and decisions. And when you don't really trust those things, it means that you don't even trust yourself. So when you don't trust yourself, you'll really find it hard to trust anyone else. So a toxic relationship will ruin your ability to trust others, and it will, and that's why it's one of those things where if you don't really build that trust in yourself, you really even find it hard to build healthy connections with others. And as I said before, like emotional abuse and gaslighting lead to feelings of self-doubt and confusion. And these feelings of self-doubt and confusion can make it really challenging to determine whom to trust, or to even trust yourself. As you may second guess your own judgments. You may second guess yourself because you don't even know like what to trust anymore. Your reality is distorted. You don't know what's true from what's not true. So you just feel like, I can't trust anything, and you may find yourself just feeling so paranoid and think that other people are out there to hurt you, or you'll feel so paranoid to the point that you feel that you might hurt yourself. So that's why you will find it really hard to trust. The third one is you'll have struggles with boundaries. You see, like a toxic relationship is a place where your boundaries have been neglected and violated. So your partner disregarded your boundaries. You neglected your own well-being or your needs and your own self-care for the sake of preserving that relationship. So you've gotten to the point where you don't really know where the other one ends and where you begin. Like you don't really know what you can tolerate in life and what you cannot tolerate, because you are used to someone walking over you. You're used to your ex-partner walking over you as they wish. So when you leave, you have this feeling of overwhelmed and drained, because you may feel like you are giving too much to everyone aside from yourself. You are letting others do to you as they wish, but you're not doing any favors to yourself, and you're not getting anything in return. So the pain you've experienced creates uncertainty about what healthy boundaries look like. You don't really know how those boundaries look like, and you don't even know how to enforce them. So you will really struggle to get back on your feet and stand up for yourself. You may also feel that you're not worthy of taking care of yourself or having healthy boundaries, because that's what you were used to in that relationship. Not having any boundaries, just letting the other person use you as they wish. The last one, and the most common one also, is negative self-talk. So toxic relationship will lead you to this point of you harshly criticizing yourself, because you may have internalized the negative messages from your ex-partner, or the words they called you, or the name calling they used on you. So you may have internalized those. So after you leave, you'll be living life inside that it's like there's someone inside you who always criticizes you or judges you harshly. So you will be emotionally abusing yourself even long after you left that toxic relationship. And your inner critic will be constantly invalidating, dismissing, or minimizing your emotions, the same way your ex-partner was doing it. But now you are doing it on yourself. So the seeds were planted when you were in that relationship, but now it's like an inner narcissist who inflicts more pain in you. So you are inflicting more pain on yourself. So your life is just full of negative beliefs about yourself, and it's more of like being in a toxic relationship with yourself. So you left the toxic relationship, but negative self-talk now is like you being in a toxic relationship with yourself. And most things which happen in your life will have negative connotations to them, of how you deserve them, of how you are such a bad person, of how or you always ruin things. So everything in your life will look like a struggle, and it will look like just you being the problem or you being the cause of everything. So the effect of being in a toxic relationship should never be watered down. Don't say that, I'm okay. No. It leaves scars which, when not addressed, may draw you to the same toxic relationship. That's what happens. You might think that you're okay. No, it's just better to even say like, hey, I'm not okay, but I'm working on it. But not just say I'm okay and just live life as if it's a normal thing. It's also important to always strive to leave those toxic relationships as early as possible so that you can lessen the damage it will have in your life. So if you find that you are in a toxic relationship, always plan your exit. Even if it's hard, just look at the exit as the best option for you, not preserving the relationship. The other thing is, being in a toxic relationship doesn't signify that it's the end of your life. But you can see it as a new journey of self-discovery, like a journey to the inner world where you go to explore your unhealed parts, or where you go to explore your unhealed wounds so that you can rise beyond them. So it's not the end of life. No, you can still rise up. Of course, it can be hard to dig yourself up, but as always, these things you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to lock yourself up somewhere and just let pain keep you there. No, you can still seek help, or seek help from someone who understands that that person can guide you along the journey of healing. Because at times seeking guidance may be the best route, because at least you are getting someone who can validate your experiences and someone who understands what you're going through. And the thing is, when you always focus on you in your healing journey, you have also to be compassionate with yourself, because of that negative self-talk, or that inner voice. You might find yourself beating yourself up and feeling that you don't deserve healing. But as always, be compassionate with yourself, because you need that. The other person was never compassionate with you, but now it's up to you to rise up and be compassionate with yourself and really work on rising up that low self-esteem, rising up that negative self-talk, or rising up that difficulty in trusting others, and getting to the point where you can set and uphold healthy boundaries. Hope you found that informative, guys. Have a lovely week, and until next time, feel free to share and subscribe and comment. See ya.